Okay, so hey everybody, we are starting a new segment this month, and once a month we're gonna talk with a nonprofit organization. So you hear me say all the time that how we handle our money should positively impact our lives and the lives of those around us. And one of the great ways to impact the lives of those around us is by supporting nonprofit organizations. So today we have Kelly Ross, who's been a friend of mine for quite a few years, and she's a great person. And we're going to talk a little bit about the nonprofit where she directs. So, hey, Kelly, how are you?
Good. How are you doing today?
I am doing great. And yeah, so how long have you been with Collins Home for Children? Has it been a year? Been 2 years? I can't keep
No,
track.
no, it's been just since September of this year.
Okay.
I have been blessed enough in my life to serve at three amazing nonprofit organizations, but I am so glad to be back in Oconee County. This is where my roots run deep, and I am glad to be back.
So tell us about Collins Home. I know that a lot of times, people may just have misconceptions on what organizations do. So give us the kind of the Cliff Notes versions of Collins ministry.
Absolutely. So Collins Home has actually been a nonprofit here in Oconee County since 1980. So we're rolling into our 44th year of doing ministry here. And ultimately, we aspire to see children and families flourishing in Christ-centered homes. And we do that by providing shelter to children, strength to families, and stability to our community. And most of the time, when people think about Collins Home, they think about the sheltering part and they understand that we provide shelter to children. But what they don't understand is necessarily how children find their way to Collins Home. And a lot of times, just like the ministry of Collins Home was birthed in the heart of Joe and Ann Rackley, basically they around their kitchen table were discussing families facing hardship and how could they make a difference. And we've been doing that. We've been providing shelter and services to families facing hardship now for 44 years and love what we get to do.
What type of hardships are the families that you serve, are they typically facing?
Sometimes it's homelessness. Currently, of the 17 kids we have residing here on campus, 10 are facing homelessness.
And what
Um,
age range children do you have now,
wow.
or
So
can you handle?
yeah, so we're licensed from birth to age 21. Currently, our youngest residents are 18-month-old twins, and our oldest resident is 17 years old. So we have a broad range of those we provide care for. But it's not just about homelessness. Sometimes it's about behavioral issues. Sometimes there are family dynamics where maybe a parent loses a job. So there's a wide variety of reasons families come to Collins Home.
And how many children can you serve at any one time? Like, what's your max capacity?
Yeah, so max capacity is 21. But that would assume that all of the children are older children,
Mhm. Sure.
teenagers or above. Currently, we're at capacity with 17, just because some of the children we have currently on campus are younger.
So, what are some of the future aspirations of Collins Home? Or is there any growth plans, any changes? Tell us a little bit about kind of what the future looks like for your organization.
Yeah, so currently here in Seneca, we have 26 acres. And on this campus, we have a boys' home, a girls' home, and a family enrichment center. And we've been serving children now for a really long time. And what we recognize is that a child is not grown up at the age of 18. I know you yourself have teenage children,
I'm
and
not
just
grown up
because
yet either, and I'm a lot older than 18.
so just because a kid ages out of foster home or a group home, it doesn't mean that they're a fully functioning adult. And so our passion is to see this 18 to 25 year old age group flourish as well. And what we want to do is we want to come alongside them by providing a tiny home community here in Oconee County that helps them either in their early career. Maybe they're out in the workforce and they're that 18 to 25 age. They haven't had enough time to save up money for an apartment, but they need a job, they need a place to live, and they still don't have the family support that they need. Or maybe they're in college and they're pursuing education. So, how can we come alongside them? And right here on our campus, we've got plenty of space. We've got a board of directors and a staff who, over and over again, have seen children age out of Collins Home or age out of foster care. And we want to be a part of rewriting their future. We want to be a part of teaching them independent living skills and really making a deeper impact in the community.
There's like a big difference between, sometimes we look at people and say that's a bad person, but other times, I think what we really need to say, that's someone maybe who hadn't just been taught. They hadn't been taught skills. They hadn't right down from my office is the homeless soup kitchen. And it's real easy to say, well, why don't these people just get jobs? I mean, they're just lazy people that don't want to work. Well,
Right.
obviously, it's not that simple. These people need help. They need guidance. They need life skills. They need to be loved on. So I really appreciate what you're doing because there's a lot of the world that just needs help, and we just
Yeah.
need to reach out. So we have listeners in Oconee County. We have listeners all across the country. For people that are local that want to support your ministry, what could they do? And then if there are people who are not local that are just thinking, you know what, this sounds like an organization that I would like to support because, there are children, young adults that just need help. How could they support you as well?
Yeah, I like to call that pray, engage, provide. So we are looking for people who can come alongside us, number one, and pray. The children who come to us have all faced some form of childhood trauma. So remembering them, remembering our staff who provides care for them, that's a huge benefit. Engaging, if you're here locally and you'd like to volunteer with us, just go to our website, collinschildren'shome.org. And on there, there's information about how you can be connected as a volunteer. Sometimes we have volunteers who just come in and read with our kids. Most of the kids who find themselves at Collins Home are what we call profoundly behind in their education. So having tutoring, having people who can just come and read with them, a huge benefit. And the last is provide. So, when I came to Collins Home, I was like, let's figure out what it costs to feed a kid for 1 week. Let's figure out what it costs to provide the clothing for a quarter. And the reality is it costs about $50 a week to feed one child. When you have 17
Wow.
kids on campus, you do the math, it adds up pretty quickly. And so we're looking for people who will do something as simple as provide $50 a week. Maybe you're thinking, hey, I would love to be a part of providing clothing for a child. For about $250 a quarter, you can provide clothing for a child. And then if you're thinking, man, I could do more and I want to do more, for about $3,000 a year, you can provide one full day of service here at Collins Children's Home. And that would be everything from staff salaries to lights, just keeping the lights on. In a project this big, those kind of things are important. And you can't shelter children without food, shelter, and clothing. Those are
Oh,
very important parts of the process here.
trust me, I know kids are expensive. Tell me a little bit about your team. You have a paid staff in addition to volunteers?
Yes. So we have the way our program works is each home, the boys' home and the girls' home, both have a set of house parents.
Okay.
And those parents are 24/7, 365. And so they are employees of Collins Home. In addition to that, we have a very lean staff. We have a case manager who does the interviews and intakes for all of the children who are coming into our shelter program. And then we have a front desk person who helps me on all other things, just making sure I know I am where I'm supposed to be at all times. So we have a very lean staff, but their work is very meaningful. And the house parents, if you're out there thinking, I would just love to be a blessing to them, really thinking through the fact that they have laid down their lives, they have laid down their professions, their careers, and they have come here on a full-time basis to parent their children sometimes and the children of other people. It is a huge calling.
That's amazing. It's amazing. So anybody who is interested, check out collinschildren'shome.org. Learn a little bit about the organization, learn about the leadership. You can see who's on the board. And then again, you can pray, engage, and you can provide. And if it's on your heart to provide, whether that be money or financial support or volunteering your time and your efforts, I think that it's all equally important. So well, awesome, Kelly. Well, I appreciate
Awesome.
this. I'm definitely going to get with you and set a time to come on by. I feel like a lot of people complain about government just not being a good solution. But if
Right.
we don't all do our part, government's the only solution, and it's typically not a very good one. So we all need to do our part to help the world. And
Yeah.
so pick a cause that tugs on your heart, and if it's not Collins Home, there's another cause that'll tug on your
That's
heart.
right.
And
Lots of
let's
great
all
things
jump out there.
happening in the nonprofit community here of Oconee County.
Mhm.
Obviously, I love Collins Home, but I also love Our Daily Bread and Our Daily Rest and Foothills Care Center. Just so many amazing things happening here in our community. I just invite you to find something you love and get involved.
Absolutely. All right, everybody, collinschildren'shome.org. Check it out, and be on the lookout. Once a month, we're going to have a short interview with a local nonprofit, and hopefully we can just drum up some support, both financially and volunteers to the organizations that are changing the world. Thanks, Kelly.
Thank you, David.